Hi, this is Joe again with another video. For this video, I'm going to be making another campaign video. So this is going to be from my Big 6 Tower shareholders page. And I know this is like the fourth one. I know people probably get tired of it. I know you guys are going to get tired of this, but I figured do one more video before the last meet the candidates thing. It's going on this Thursday, October 12th. So I'm going to make one more video for the campaign, and it's probably going to be it, because this is like the fourth one, and people are going to get tired of this. But for this video, I think I should go over with you guys, for those of you that didn't go, for the first candidates night, which was just last week, and preview the second one. I know that probably most of you probably voted and put in your ballots in already. But for the first candidate night, I was surprised that it wasn't completely filled. The community room was not completely filled. They had a pretty good, I'd say a decent crowd. About like 3/4 full. For the second candidate night, we'd be lucky to get half filled, because usually most people go the first night and not bother with the second night, especially with the baseball playoffs going on and Thursday night football and the new shows coming on TV, so people don't want to miss it. So actually, if you didn't go the first night, please come on the second night. And those of you who have not voted in yet, I don't know what you guys are waiting for, but I ask you if you come down. Those of you who didn't come down the first night, come down on Thursday. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I do feel that the main part of this video I'm going to talk about in a second. But I felt that the first candidate, I thought it would been pretty well. I got a lot of positive feedback for myself and for those of us who came down. Of course, the big thing for those of you who weren't there, the big thing is that one candidate did not show up, and that was Geary. He didn't come down. The reason why he didn't come down was because of the fact that he decided to go on vacation. I don't know. I forgot who mentioned said where he went, which is just totally disrespectful to all of us. True, people make vacation plans like months in advance, but if you knew that you were going to run for the board and decided to plan your vacation around the time of the candidates nights, it's just not right. I mean, I know some of you probably write comments saying you have a personal grudge against Howard, and it's true. I'm not going to deny that, but at least the rest of us showed up. I mean, as much as you could say about Dorothy Comiskey, at least he showed up, or Jerry Lamani, or myself. At least we showed up for the candidates nights. At least the first night. Actually, of course, I'm going to have to show up on the second night, and I will show up the second night. But for a person who's running for the board, who doesn't bother showing up, is totally disrespecting everybody here in Big 6. Well, you can see that about last year, that somebody didn't show up last year either, and ended up getting more votes than Dorothy Comiskey. I mean, and it goes to show you how popular Dorothy Comiskey is, where somebody who didn't even bother showing up at the candidates nights beat her out and almost tied, was one vote behind Jerry Lamani for the last spot on the board last year, for the 6th spot on the board. Hold on a second, I had to put my line off for 1 second. It was getting a little bit too dark, and I have to, for the main part of this video, I have to talk about a letter we got. Now, last Thursday, that's about a few days ago, I think that's about everybody who's running for the board. I don't know how many actual board members. I haven't found that out yet. But I'm talking about current board members. Talking about, and I'm not talking about people who ran for the board. Everybody who ran for the board got this letter, and I got it too. And of course, this is from Roy Lippman. Of course, everybody complains about Roy with his newsletters, so he doesn't have a credibility problem. I said, well, this letter, which I'm going to quote, because I'm sure that not everybody got this letter, and of course this letter is very important, at least I think it is. It's true, you could argue or dispute the person who wrote it, which is fine, but there's one point here that you should know, which of course also concerns myself, because it has happened to me. I don't know what's the deal with my hair here, which has happened to me. Particularly one point, which I will get to. All right, now this is also kind of wrong because I'm not a board member. And at this time during this video, I'm not a board member. I am a candidate for the board, which is it is important. It is a big deal because there's only 7 of us. But I don't know why he addressed it as members of the board. I'm not a member of the board. So there's one thing that Roy got wrong right there. Sorry about that. That's my phone. In case it picked up on the microphone. So I want to read to you this letter. It said, to the 8 remaining members of the board of directors. This is written October 5th, 2017. Dear members of the board, enclosed is a Supreme Court order dated September 26, 2017. Signed by Judge Geary Bugs. That's a real name, folks. The judge's name. I direct your attention to the temporary restraining order that appears at the bottom of the second page. Which, this is it. This is the restraining order. The Big Six Towers is a Mitchell-Lama co-op under control by and subject to the rules, requirements, and regulations of the New York State Division of Housing and Community Renewal, and supervised by the New York State Department of Housing and Development, or HBD. The New York State Supreme Courts have jurisdiction to intervene and or interpret statutes. Whatever. The board motion dated June 14, 2016, restricting shareholder electioneering to the building's lobbies, does not meet prerequisites set forth by DHCR section 1723-3.6. In addition, the board motion is in violation of HBD written policy. If necessary, I will continue I will provide copies, or you may Google it. Right. Still quoting the letter. After examination of the law, letters of HBD stating policy and the previous landmark lawsuit. Personally, I don't think it's a landmark lawsuit. The New York State Court ruled in my favor and against the board. Dean Roberts, who is a lawyer, or the board's lawyer, was duly served, and Jerry Newman, Director of Public Safety, along with the property manager David Becker, was made aware of the court order. And this is the point, this also kind of refers to me, well, not exactly refers to me, but I could relate to this, because it has happened to me with Howard Geary, and I explain after I read the letter. In spite of a court order, and after almost 3 years of ongoing litigation, several shareholders have informed me that on October 1st, 2017, public safety has been observed removing printed campaign literature left by me at my fellow shareholders' doors. These eyewitnesses were told by the public safety officers that they were acting on direct orders from Jerry Newman, Director of Public Safety, at the behest of Board of Directors Treasurer Howard Geary. Which Roy also forgot to put in the fact that Howard Geary is also the chairman of the Public Safety Committee. He kind of left that part out. Continuing to quote the letter, it's a 2-page letter. The board's attorney was immediately notified by email of this event. In an email reply dated October 4, 2017, he stated that he should go back to court to address the matter. I believe it is your responsibility as a board to control the behavior of both Howard Geary and Jerry Newman. Howard Geary is a self-dealing treasurer. I'm quoting from the letter, okay? So they're not coming from me. I tell you when I first quoting the letter. Howard Geary is a self-dealing treasurer, must obey the law, and has a fiduciary duty to the shareholders of the co-op corporation. Jerry Newman must obey the law too. An individual officer of the co-op corporation lacks the authority to issue board directives. It appears that Geary, Newman, and Roberts, Dean Roberts, the attorney, feel they are above the law. Therefore, they do not have to obey the law. Wrong. No one is above the law. Continue to quote the letter. I demand and will obtain for the shareholders of the Big Six an honest, open, fair, and even-handed election with an even playing field for all candidates. Past elections have not always met this standard. Election inspectors required by custom and law must be present to ensure an honest and proper count of the ballots. That the best man or woman win. Continue to read Newman's letter here. As you may or should know, I am currently serving an attorney who claims to represent the Big Six, the managing agent, and the director of public safety for basically the same reason. To wit, the right to speak my mind. And this time, I am not suing the Big Six Towers, any individual member, or the entire board of directors. I hope the board will not force me into further litigation. As an American, continuing to quote Roy Lemon's letter here, as an American, I have a right under the First Amendment of the Constitution to free speech, press, assembly, and to petition the government. As a native, I can't believe he's quoting this stuff. As a native-born citizen of the United States, I have protection from abuse under federal civil rights laws. As a shareholder in Mitchell Housing, I have DHCR and HPD rules, regulations allowing me to campaign effectively for candidates that I support. In addition, I have an order from the Supreme Court allowing me to have free access to and distribution to my fellow shareholders. The board has a worthless piece of paper of 8.5 inches by 11 inches that requires DHCR approval and is not in compliance with HPD policy. There's the final paragraph here. The only question I have for you, my fellow shareholders, neighbors, as our friends too, is you or the 8 remaining members of the board going to obey an order of the court? I demand a yes or no answer from each and every one of you. Signed, Roy Lippman. Right? There's also carbon copy, a CC to the 2017 board candidates, which of course includes myself. And of course, here also included is the official order from the judge. The official temporary restraining order that allows them to go into all these buildings. Now, what I can relate to, and of course the paragraph they just read about October 1st, 2017, that public safety was observed, and somebody did post on the page here that they saw public safety going around removing the Lippman's newsletters. Well, and they were under orders to do it. And of course, Jerry Newman is the head of public safety, but I think the real orders came from Howard Geary, which Roy Lippman attests to, which I can relate to. And actually, of course, I know how true that is. Like I said earlier, that Roy Lippman has a credibility problem, but that paragraph does have a ring of truth to it, because when I know I mentioned this earlier in other videos, about when Howard Geary banned me from the maintenance shop, which he has no authorization to do. Like, he has no authorization to do this either. Howard Geary. He ever since then, because Howard Geary, like I mentioned earlier, he is currently the chairman of the Public Safety Committee, and after when he banned me from the shop, and he also banned the burning buffs for burning one as well, as I mentioned in my earlier video. Ever since then, every time when Howard is not here, and I happen to be sitting on a little bench in front of the maintenance shop, at least two security guards, two public safety officers, I should say, who were on the 3 to 11 shift, come over to the maintenance shop, and they stand there like this, observing me, sitting there at the shop. Now, we have, I keep forgetting how big, in acres-wise, Big Six Towers is. And it is a pretty big complex, and they have two of our public safety officers guarding me instead of walking around the complex or driving around in the public safety car. It's ridiculous. It's like they don't have anything else better to do than to watch me to pounce on me. And if I have to go into the maintenance shop, that's why they were standing there for. Is to make sure that I don't go into the shop, and they were under orders from Howard, because Howard Geary ordered them to watch me at 3 o'clock every time when he's not here. If he's not home for one reason or another, if he's on one of his little vacation, one of his little trips, or if he does not have to be home for one reason or another, he orders public safety, because he is the chairman of the Public Safety Committee, to watch me, to make sure that I don't go into the shop, which is just wrong. So if Howard Geary could order public safety through Jerry Newman, order public safety to watch me in the maintenance shop, what does it stop him to order public safety to remove White Lemon's newsletters? True, you can argue about Lemon's newsletters if it's fake, like CNN, fake news, but to order public safety to remove Lemon's newsletters, that's wrong. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me if you agree with White Lemon or not, or if you like his newsletters. I don't mind them, and personally, I don't mind them. I know some of you are going to say, "Oh, but Joe, he endorsed you in his newsletter." I don't care if he endorsed me or not. Because I didn't contact Roy, because he did send me a letter in the mail asking to talk to me and see where I stand on certain issues, for the board, for the board election. But I didn't contact him because I didn't bother, because again, with all due respect to Roy, getting an endorsement for him is like the kiss of death. I don't want it. And it's nice to give me his endorsement. I appreciate it. I'd rather have his vote, not his endorsement. Same thing with all you guys here on the site. I'd rather have your vote, not your endorsement. But in case of Roy, his endorsement is like the kiss of death. That means you don't want his endorsement, because if he endorses somebody, at least the last couple of years when he writing his newsletters, except for Bill Kriegler, who he endorsed, everybody else who he endorsed lost. So I don't want his. I know I'm laughing about it now, but I don't want his endorsement. That's because of the basis of that. But it doesn't surprise me if Howard Geary goes ordered public safety to remove any newsletters that White Lemon makes up. And now he's technically he's violating, for Howard Geary for doing that. He violates the court order, and he should read the court order. Excuse me. I know I'm getting a dry throat from talking for 20 minutes. the paragraph that's in here for the George's order is the plaintiff/petitioner, Ms. Roy Lippman, shall have free and open access to fellow shareholders in the common areas of all of the 7 high-rise buildings known as Big Six Towers. The defendant, or respondent, its attorneys, board of directors, agents, employees, and others will not prevent, harass, interfere, thwart, and or obstruct the plaintiff petitioner from communication or distribution door-to-door of printed material, election campaign literature, and the solicitation or collection of ballot proxies from fellow shareholders. Right? So Howard Geary is violating the law right now. And so is public safety for removing his newsletters. And so that's why I'm asking. I'm sure most of you probably voted already, so that's why I'm asking those of you who did not put in the ballots in yet, and you guys who didn't put your ballots in yet, either drop them off in the management office or in the lobbies. I think every day from like 3 to 8 from now to the day of the or the day before the annual meeting. There's going to be like a selected lobbies, which I printed up a list of already on the site. You have to get your balance in, and those who didn't, please do not vote for Howard Geary, because he is violating the law. Well, he was violating the law before when he banned me from the shop, put a stupid metal gate in the maintenance shop, which every single member of the maintenance staff is against, by the way, because it's an outrage. So this gate is there. It's an outrage. Okay. It's also a violation of every single management employee law there is. You're locking them in and keeping shareholders out. You can't do that. Especially since today's Columbus Day, and probably most likely the management office was closed today. And what if you need something in your apartment to be fixed, and you don't have the number for the maintenance office? Let's say you don't have the number for the maintenance shop, or for maintenance, management office, or public safety. Wherever you don't have those numbers, okay? What do? You naturally go to the maintenance shop, and of course you have the stupid gate there. You keep now. Before it used to be just me that's kept out of the maintenance shop. Now it's everybody's kept out, which is not right on every single conceivable measure. And Howard Geary has been allowed to get away with this stuff. And that's why I'm asking people not to vote for him. He's the only candidate that I'm asking you not to vote for. He's the only one. Of all 7 of us, he's the only one I'm asking not to vote for him. Because everybody else who's running, I'm talking about the other 5 who are running against me. They all have very good qualities, some bad in case of Dorothy Comiskey, some bad in case of Barbara Collins. That's why you never trashed her. Because the only thing they have against Barbara Collins is that she never really votes on anything. Which the first time she was on the board, a lot of times she abstains to votes. So that was kind of annoying. But other than that, I don't have any personal problems with. It's more professional, not personal against Barbara. I don't have anything personal against Dorothy Comiskey, even though everybody hates her guts because she's curses everybody out and interrupts everybody, that type of thing. But the other 3 candidates, like John Galuli, I think he was very good. He was a former board member, former board president, actually. Jonathan Brockhaman, he's also quite good, even though he and I have something in common, and that is we've both never been on the board before. So that's to our advantage. And he is quite good. He's a young guy. I think he's younger than I am. He's quite good. I think he would do well. With his experience being part of the unions that's more working class unions and has the technical know-how for the work that's going on in the boiler room and the power plant, he'd be good. Of course, Jerry Lamani, we all know his reputation because he was a board member for so long. But in terms of Howard Geary, we gotta get Howard off this board. we gotta get Howard Geary off this board. And for him not showing up, I'm going to mention this because I mentioned this at the top. I repeat it now. For Howard Geary not to show up, and the very first candidates night, what most people do go to, is an utter insult to everybody who did show up. Because I showed up, and the other 5 people who were running for the board this year, we all showed up. All 6 of us showed up, and Howard Geary didn't. And people were dumbfounded. There was one guy that asked, "How come the other guy's not here? How come there's only 6 of you?" And because I think John Galilei said that he went on vacation. I mean, how can you go on? And like, I had a look on my face like, how can you go on vacation? If you're running for the board, how can you possibly go away when you have the candidates nights? That's probably the reason why there's like a 9-day layoff between the 2 days. It's usually like 1 day, not 9. I think 1 day will be on a Tuesday, and the next day will be like on either next night, Wednesday or Thursday. You have the second candidates night, not 9 days later. I mean, I think it's ridiculous to have the 2 candidates nights 9 days apart. Personally, because I know people already voted already, so it makes no sense to have the second day 9 days apart. If it's 2 days apart, is one thing, but to have it 9 days afterwards. And also I should mention, those of you who were at the first candidates night, you know I mentioned in my opening statement that it's been 3 months that the board of directors have updated the official Big Six website. Well, guess what, folks? After 3 months, they finally updated the Big Six website. They put a notice in there about the annual meeting, which is on the 26th, and at the St. Parish School of St. Sebastian's, instead of being in PS11, with all the construction work that's going on in there. So, the expansion that's going on for PS11, we're having the St. Sebastian Parish, which is on like 57th Street. So on 57th Street. I'm sure there's going to be a notice, hopefully, between now and then. I think we should have a distribution. There's non-distribution stuff. That's to save us like $10 or whatever, so $20 on our budget, whatever the amount is. We should have a distribution to remind so that everybody would know, a reminder notice when the annual meeting is, where it is, and if there's a bus that's going to be provided. As far as I know, there's not even a bus that's provided yet for this thing. It should be. It should be a bus. Let's see what else I want to mention. Oh yeah, like I said, the Howard giving up being there is ridiculous. But most, like I said earlier, most people already voted already. So they have the second night. I think the second night this year, because it's such a huge time between the 2 days. Most people probably already voted already. Because of the thing, because of the 9 days in between the two candidates nights. But I should also mention that I was kind of attacked with two people. Usually when we have the candidates nights, people get attacked, or at least the candidates get attacked pretty well. Get attacked pretty badly, I should say. But there's only 2 people who really went after me. One was Edwin Bennett, who was currently on the board at least for the next year, because he has 1 more year left on his term. He went after me because he wanted to know my work experience. Because in my bio letter that I wrote, I did not write my education or my work experience. I didn't do that. Because it was a choice on my part, because I wanted to focus on the what I stand for. That's why I didn't put that stuff in there. But I should have. For those of you who were at the candidates night meeting, I graduated from Forest Hills High School in 1989. Believe it or not. I know it don't look it, but it's been almost 30 years, 28 years since I graduated from high school. And I went to Queensborough Community College, which I majored in word processing, have a degree in that. and I also have a degree from LaGuardia, from LaGuardia Community College in photography. I have an AAS, as a degree in applied sciences degree in photography. The reason why it's a science degree because I had to take chemistry because you're dealing with chemicals in the darkroom. So I had to take chemistry as a science elective, as a science course. So that's why it's an AAS degree. And in between going to Queensboro and to LaGuardia, I went and worked in New York Life for 3 months. I actually was fired, and I wish that it was unionized. And I did mention a couple of times I wish it was unionized, so that way we won't have to pull over that stuff. Because I was fired because I was complaining of 2 workers constantly smoking in my face. It's a long story. Because after Labor Day, the mailroom was being repainted, and I got sick on the paint fumes. And I was literally sick. Came home with a splitting headache every day for like 2 weeks, and then after that they put a new carpeting down, and the 2 guys who were putting on the carpeting was constantly smoking. As soon as they finished one cigarette, they lit another one up, and I was getting sick of the cigarette smoke, and I was constantly complaining about it, and they fired me for it. And I said this place was union. I said to one of my fellow workers, this place was unionized. You want to get away with this stuff. What's going on now? Then I worked for Chemical Bank for 4 months. I actually quit because I was accused of not doing my job, which I was, because there was a supervisor on the floor that I was delivering mail to. Decided to didn't see me pick up the mail because I had to go up a certain time, like 4 times a day, to certain floors, or 2 floors I was assigned to actually, to pick up, to drop off every mail I have for that floor, and to pick up whatever was there, and to pass it out to other floors, or to put in the proper mail slot so I can get into the mail, back down to the mailroom. And when I got back to the mailroom, my supervisor says to me, "Did you pick up mail from the 16th floor?" I said, "I did." And she said, and my supervisor says to me, "Oh, they said that you didn't pick up mail." It was total bullshit. I said to her, "If you don't believe me, you got the mail in the court. I didn't sort it out yet. You can look. The proof is right there in the court." I said to her. I said, "Well, go up there again." So they actually got a 5th trip. And instead of 4, they got 5 trips. And the mail was like about 5 times the size. The pile of mail was like 5 times the size of the one that I picked up. So I picked it up and came back down and said, "Yeah, you should have seen the pile. It was like 5 times the size of the one I picked up." The thing was that they probably, they got there at 9 o'clock on the news. So probably if they came in like 5 minutes later, I probably would have picked up or 10 minutes later, I would have picked up all the mail. Because I had to be there at a certain time, go up at a certain time. I was there at that time. And nobody said, "Can you please wait a minute? As people have mail come out," and we waited. But nobody said anything to me, so I left. And of course, I got mad that I was accused of this. So the next morning, and let it go for the rest of the day. The next morning, I asked the secretary to watch me take the mail out. Because why you want me to watch you take the mail out? Because I didn't want to be accused of not doing my job, which I was yesterday. And of course, we got around, and I got suspended for really not delivering the mail anymore. And I was trying to make form a union so that I didn't want to do that anymore in Chemical Bank. But now there's no more Chemical Bank, so I don't give a damn anymore. But after that job, that's when I went back to school and I majored in photography, and that's the story. But Edmund Bennett focused on me, applying that I never worked before in a day in my life. And there's one thing that I should mention. I know it's over 35 minutes now, this video, and it's going to be hell to upload this thing. There was one woman who came up, made this whole big speech accusing me of, or never accusing me, blaming me for the mouse and rat problem in the building. Because of the squirrel issue. Again, because of the fact that I go out with the squirrels, and because of the squirrels, we have mouse and rat problem. The squirrels have been around in Big Six towers for over 30 years, and the mouse problem has been a deal for like 10 years. So, if that. So, or actually 9 years. So if the squirrels were a problem with mice and rats in the building, it should have been a problem in the buildings 30 years ago. Or 35 years ago when squirrels were first around here. Now, some over 20 years later, now all of a sudden there's a mouse problem in the building. I think it's mainly because of the people feeding the stray cats and leaving food out. Me, I don't leave food out. Contrary to popular fact. So this woman was accusing me of doing it, and then at the end of her speech, she yells at me saying, "You don't belong on this board." Which is like extreme, over the top, and people came up to even Richard Bacola, who's currently a board member, said to me like a day or two later, he thought that was disgusting. What this woman did, and as a matter of fact, this woman, I don't know her name, but she lives in the same building I do, and in Building 3, and she is married to a guy who called public safety on me to complain about the stupid here. Complain about me feeding the squirrels. I actually called public safety on me to try and have me arrested for it. I am not kidding. There's no law preventing feeding the squirrels here. The only policy here in Big Six is leaving food out for any animal, for squirrels, the cats, pigeons, whatever. I don't do it. I never done it. My family has never done it. I never left food out for the squirrels or any other animal here. Unlike the people who feed the cats, who have put out couch out over the years, put out couch shelters, put out food, water, whatever for the stray cats. And mind you, she doesn't bring up the stupid stray cats, only picks on me with the squirrels. And I hope if this woman happens to be on the page, or comes to the cat and thing, you better not attack me again, because I'm going to defend myself this time. The first time I just kept my mouth shut and didn't say anything. I'm not going to be so quiet, and I'm going to be so nice about it next time if she decides to attack me. And her husband doesn't come down. What a man this guy is. So that's his wife, but fights battles for him, and doesn't come down and attack me. His wife attacks me for him. I mean, he doesn't have the balls to come down and confront me, confront and blast me. His wife does it, and she also comes. The other accusations she came, I should mention this before I sign off. She also accused me of every time I step off the door, I cuss everybody out. That's Dorothy Comiskey who cusses everybody out. I don't know any people that cuss out all the time are Yankee fans. That's it. And they only cuss out Yankee fans because they deserve it. But that's neither here nor there. But to accuse me of all that stuff, I mean, to put the blame on me for letting rats and mice in the building. I mean, come on, how can you prove something like that when they bring you mice and rats into the building? Because of the squirrels. How about blaming the cat feeders? Nah, cat feeders are innocent. I know I'm going along on this video, almost 40 minutes. Like I said, it's going to be hell for me to upload this thing. So this is going to be most likely my last campaign video. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please check out all my other campaign videos, and plus also my movie reviews too. I need more viewerships for that. Thanks for watching. I do hope that those of you who didn't vote for me, I hope you do vote for me for the election. If not, that's fine. Please put in your ballots for the board election. Please send them in. Either drop them off in the office or public safety 24/7 on the days the office is closed, or in selected buildings it's going to be the the locked box is going to be needed to drop them off in the put them in the box. Your ballots, I mean. Please do so. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.